I'm behind the, like, I just started texting in the last couple of years, so I'm
I
got all
don't
that
do
stuff.
I don't do that. I type them for 1 year. Takes me forever. But I do it.
Oh, my stupid phone will autocorrect. No, I don't need that.
Yeah.
I can't even figure out how to shut that off. You know what I did? I went
Did you?
numbers. Helps. See, I need a. Yeah.
We did too.
Well, that's what I did when I was learning the anatomy. I bought. It was right around Halloween when. Yeah. I got a skeleton and I put. He was a different project. I got a skeleton and I labeled the whole all my skeleton. But that's what we did with the.
When I went away to school, I did homework textbook. And it was
Yeah. Now there's so many things online, but it wasn't then.
Yeah.
Even when I went to school, there wasn't as much online.
Hi.
Like, compared to now.
Hi.
Hey Taylor, long time no see.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, like should be drill or anatomy.
First,
yeah.
Your text.
How's it going?
Papers?
I'm super tired. I was like, oh
Me
my
too, huh?
god, I come, but then I was like, well, thank you. I was like,
Worked at the
That's what I
center all
brought
day.
Coca-Cola.
Oh, did you?
Workshop.
Oh, how's the orientation going?
Good. Yeah, I like working
That's still a
That
coffee.
aspect.
In home care, yeah,
Yeah.
cool. I thought about doing home care too. Well, maybe eventually, but yeah.
a lot of wound
You
care.
get like, you get to like
Yeah. I find it more full scope than what I was doing.
oh, probably.
And
Probably
like
get
I
a
was
lot
full.
more experience.
Well, I was full scope down in the Sioux, but when I moved here, it was like I was studying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and being in the field and
You probably get a little more
finding out
experience.
the scope again.
So you're doing the Red Cross stuff?
Hmm?
You doing Red Cross?
Parahealth, paramed.
What's that through?
They bought out
Rivera.
Rivera,
Oh, okay.
so it's like Red Cross kind of, I guess.
Mhm.
But
Most of them.
no, but I still do. In any home care, it's not really the best institution.
I know everyone seems to say bad things about it, but Cass says that's great. Like Cass loves it.
Well, I think
Certain people like it.
Yeah, so it's not
it's
for
like
everyone,
long-term
probably.
It's
nursing.
not for
Compared to long-term, I'd rather acute anyway.
doing.
The RPNs on our
When are they switching though? When?
does that mean that? What does that mean for me?
You have to work.
Ask your union.
Oh my
I just need
god.
minutes, that's all.
Does that mean that like some of the RNs are gonna lose their jobs?
No.
No,
Oh.
They can't get.
Oh.
I
So
think
share.
they're just gonna have to share their load. Happening on the floor.
What do you
So
mean?
maybe then I'll
The
be able to
RPNs will
start.
have to go do their
Sure.
stuff.
So
So
I'll
you
be able
might
to
get
start
assigned a
lines.
long-term,
So I'll be able
Oh.
to start IVs then, because I'm with Dr.
But I don't
Burns.
know if they're gonna allow that.
Well, I'm
certain
considered an IV still.
No, I don't know if they're going
Certain
to.
So we will have to go on the long-term
We
care
still have
side.
to wait till it goes through.
Yeah, that's the issue.
So we'll have to go on the long-term care side.
It's not
Okay,
as
that's
bad
how it
as
was
it
before.
looks like, honestly.
It was like that years ago. You had a half the workload.
See, I just don't really like.
Yeah, I
so
know,
maybe
I'm not.
I don't. I'd rather work like on an acute
Yeah.
medical floor. Like I'm really interested in working in the ICU.
A small hospital.
Nope.
You
Well,
learn a
for
lot.
sure it was like, you get so much experience there being in acute and emerge. It's just like if they're gonna, like I don't know, if they're gonna make us do both, then it's not really at my
Yeah,
That's
alley.
what
but
you-
time will
that's
tell,
what
it
you
might
were
take a
hired
bit
for.
though.
It's on everybody's.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
He's
No
up there.
worries. Yeah, I guess we'll do a quick review there of what we did last week.
You knew?
We-
You knew? No, then do.
Oh,
Then
okay.
do.
He's doing his own review.
Get the ball rolling.
Everyone remembers what the past tense one is, right? Before. This one's indefinite future. We remember how to make it past tense. Gee, right? Gee. That was
Wiki?
gee.
Oh.
Yes, gee.
He is passed.
Great.
Okay.
And then you can line it there, and then gee bop, I laughed. Guinea bow, I stood. And gee gwash gwen, I jumped. And gee zagus, I was scared. And then gee bop, we laughed. We learned questions a bit there. Gee buckadena, that one.
I know it's
Are you hungry?
Yeah, are you hungry? Oh, gee,
Where's hungry?
were
Were you hungry?
yeah, right. Gee buckadena, were you hungry? And then, anyone remember how the response
Yes.
was?
Yeah, yes. I was hungry.
Oh, with the first with
Oh,
the
the
gee.
key, I was hungry.
Right, yeah, and gee buckade or and gee buckade. So the past tense and then the indefinite future. If you see we bimo say, remember that would be.
I walk,
Oh,
or I'm walking.
if you had the Nui in front, it would be.
We bimo say.
But just the we bimo say. Who would that be? That's doing what action?
He or she.
Right. And then we, which is an indefinite future, would kind of make it. We bimo say. Right, right. Yeah, we bimo say here. She wants to walk. So. Bimo say, walk by, walk. The we sin. Remember we sin. No we sin. Oh, with no we.
I?
Right. Oh, no we name. No we. Yeah. Right. I want to. We sin. We gwash one na. We gwash one na. We gwash one na. Remember gwash one in. Right. We gwash one na. So the remember gain. Name.
I was jumping.
Not I. Neen is I, then gain is who's gain. Right. Gain is you, so the we gwash kwan na.
You're asking a question. Were you jumping?
Not past tense. The we gwash kwan na. Right. Do you want to jump? We gwash kwan na.
That's the verb is want.
No, the tense.
That's
The tense is like an indefinite future, like a want. It could be like you will jump, but it's kind of, since it's indefinite, kind of has like that sense of like wanting in the future. And Guiacozna. Maracas. Yeah. I might ask some kids before Halloween there, Guiacozna, they're gonna eat too much candy. Guiacozna. Guiajana. We'll be using that one quite a bit later on tonight. Guiajana.
Go. Or I will go.
It's Gian, Gui. Yeah, it could be will want to. Do you want to
I
go?
will go, I want to go.
Right. Well, you go.
Ash's question.
Right.
Do you want to go?
Yeah. Guiajana. Oh, and that's just we briefly went over VTIs last week. We'll get into this stuff next week. That was a jump. Look at definite future. Da for he or she, and then ga. So then Gabimose. This definite future. Gabimose.
Who will walk?
Who will walk?
He is.
Great, I will walk. Definitely future. Giga Bakade. Giga Bakade. You could add that little thing at the end. Oh, no, because it's a Giga Bakade. Great, Giga Bakade. Dani Boe. Dani Boe. Oh, Niboe is great standing. So Da Niboe. There's a definite future here. So
You will start.
not
The
you.
future?
Da is. So Da Niboe. Yeah, he or she will stand. And then got Bob. Got Bob. Went back to Neen, then got Bob. Oh. A little more definite than want to laugh.
I will.
Right, I will laugh. Then got Bob. And then the Bob. Similar to Daniboe, the Bob. Not yet, kind of. Not in the present.
You will though.
Right. Sometime in the future, they will. He or she will. But do you remember the little? It's only da for he or she, and then it has that G sound for the neen or geen, and ga or giga. Da for he or she. And we'll keep mixing it up over time there, so it gets more comfortable there. Great. Definite future. Right, that's what we got into at the end of the class there. So you remember how everyone remember conjunct form, or the B form? We only briefly went over it there on last Monday. I'll give a quick refresher on it because it's took me a while to figure it, understand it clearly. So the B form or conjunct form is known as like it's everything else we were doing is known as A form or independent form, where they stand alone, like the Buckade, I'm hungry, I don't need to add anything else to it. Like it's that's actually a small little sentence there. All those little things we were looking at here are all little sentences. We aquas we wash one we sin. They're all A form, independent forms. With B form and conjunct forms, they need to connect to something, otherwise they're not complete sentences. So I can't just say "bemosean" and leave that alone. It has to be connected to something. So, so the way that it kind of gets translated into English in some ways is like bemose. Remember, so it's bemose by itself, right? So bemose is who's walking. Or just say bemose. Bimosein would be the command, but just bimose. There's nimbimose, gibimose, bimose. He or she walks. So now adding this yan at the end, bimose yan. That's like when I walk by, or when I walk. And then bimose yan, when you walk by. Bimose yin, yan and yin. Just dialect difference here. Bimose when he or she walks. So we're doing some combinations here. Namin Waindam. Remember Namin Waindam? I'm happy. Yeah, Namin Waindam. So Namin Waindam Bimosean. Right. Namin Waindam, Namadabayan, Namadabayan. I sit right, Namadabayan. Namin Waindam, Bimoseyan. Right, you are. Namin Waindam, Namadabayan. Right.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
How do you know if the person is saying like with the 2 A's or the 1 A? Like, is the pronunciation different? Like,
Yeah, so the double A is like a ah, and the single A is a
oh, okay.
So yan and yan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you pronounce it with kind of like a U?
Yeah. Or in some they'll say with an I, like a yin.
Oh,
But most
okay.
say yin. Yan or yin. All depends on, that's one of the things you gotta, just have your ear ready to hear it different ways there, and sometimes they'll throw you off, but then eventually it kind of clicks too. They're okay, they just sing it a little differently. Some might even nasalize this in other dialects, like the most say ya, ya, the other be ya. And then the yan will kind of come back, but we'll say yan, yan. And a bit more said, a bit. So the more said, a bit. And then wind down, a bit more said. I would say that. Wind down, a bit more said.
she walks.
Right, he or she walks the most aid. It's just like that one's just add the D to the he or she verb and it becomes when he or she the most aid, no matter bit. We went through, made some of these last week. Gashkandam, Bonachagayan. Gashkandam. Gashkandam. I don't know if I put that
Well, I know the second one's when I stop.
in. Right.
I don't know what the first one is.
Yeah, and then Gashkandam is I'm sad. And Gashkandam, Bonachagayan, I'm sad. Anishinaabemowin, Gwekitayan, Anishinaabemowin. Right, Anishinaabemowin, Gwekitayan. Who's turning around if it's Yan? Right. And then Nishkadas is, and he or she is angry there, so then Nishkadas, I'm angry. Nishkadas, right. The GI will be you. So if you were to say Ginishkadas, Gwekitayan, how would you try translating that? Ginishkadas.
Is that one, is the first one angry?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is angry, so who's
If
angry if
you're
it's
angry,
right?
and then
Gwekitayan.
when I turn.
Right. Ginishkadas, Gwekitayan.
Okay, I get it.
When someone's taking too sharp at turns while driving, you get mad when I turn. Ginishkadas, is you know again. Immersion know again, is you know again. Ginishkadas, is you know again. So we were saying yan, now we're moving to yan. Nishkadas. So same verb Nishkadas is you know again. Not yan, but yan is you know again. Well, someone's pointing right in your face there. Nishkadas is you know again. Right. Nishkadas is you know again. Nabenwayndam is Jayan. Is Jayan. Is Jayan. Is Jayan. Yeah, I'm happy. Oh, Aja is. So who's going? Who goes? Oh, not I. Right, yeah. Ajayan. Ajayan. Those are. Two more. Oh yeah, this one's a good little example of flipping it there. So, I think wash kwan zeg is a yan. Zeg is. Wash kwan zeg is a yan. Right. Yeah. So jump scared. So who's jumping and who's scared?
Hi.
Me. So
I
then
jump.
wash kwan.
I'm scared when I jump.
Right, when I jump, so. And this one, then Zegas Gwash Quanayan. Oh, still a yawn.
Okay.
So this one's,
I'm scared I jump.
Isn't it just I? Is it just I jump?
yeah, so this one's I jump when I'm scared. and this one is
I'm scared.
right. Zeg is Washquan.
Ah.
Ja. En zeg is Gweketad. And who turns?
Oh,
When he or she.
Right. Zeg is Gweketad. Yeah. So that's what we. That was introduction to that last week. From Monday and then Wednesday, all the terms we were practicing on there on the top of page 1 there. I'll try using some of those today there. Yeah, so we'll just jump to page 2 there and start working on how to add places, how to work with places and locations.
Holy cow, trying to take Canada. No clue.
I'll start with the first.
Again. Oh, shoot.
Works for me.
Pretty good there.
Anishinaabemowin.
Okay, so we'll start with these for 3 first there. So there's a few things going on here that we could learn a few new words actually with what's going on. A few more puzzle pieces that we learn to play around with. So add some different colors here. Teach you the word by word. So this is the first word. So Jaganash is the Ojibwe word for. They often use it for English, often specifically like English speaking, British, Britain descent, English descent. So Jaganashi Waking. This is another piece here. Okay. So Ake is referring to like land or earth or place, kind of like. So it's right here. So Jaganashi Ake is like the English country or land of the English kind of thing there, the British. And then you add that ing at the end, it makes it a location there. So like at the land of the British or the Britain. So that's what's going on here, Jaganash. And this IIW is just kind of like a connector. It comes in to connect. You might not see that W or that in the as much in the Eastern pronunciation. It'd probably just be like Jaganashi King there. Jaganashi King. But some of the pieces there, so we'll go to the States now. Well, that's one. Are you familiar with Che or Getche? I don't think I've gone through it yet there, but you recognize Che or Getche? Yeah. Right, so something big or great or large. Mokamon. Right. So it's Chimokamon.
Of course they have that in their name. Surprised they don't have a word for gun.
From what I've been told, it has to do has to date to quite a time in the past when their soldiers had the bayonets on their guns,
Yeah.
so they're known as the big
That is the
knives.
gun.
Oh,
So,
In that country.
right, so the land of the big knives there.
that's so cool.
Yeah. Chimokamon King. That's referring to the states, and then we have Anishinaabe. Okay. So you're familiar with Anishinaabe. So based on these, I already tried translating Anishinaabemowin.
The land, yeah.
Right, so land of the Anishinaabe or Anishinaabe territory, or so that could. One of the older ladies from Batch One, I heard her. She preferred using this to Jaganashiwa King there because she considers Canada Anishinaabe King. I said that in the States once, and they went, "What?" But yeah, this could refer to different ways that you look at it. Like it could, we're talking about Anishinaabe territory where Ojibwe are. They say like the borders kind of like from there's Ojibwe or Saulteaux and Saskatchewan, and then right up to the Algonquins on the western Quebec region, and then the southern regions, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, up to northern Ontario, northern Manitoba. Just different things that introduce that. Right.
Aki is land.
Yeah. Land or earth. Or
AKI.
AKI, yeah. Okay. And then they just kind of connect these. So you got a few words here. So Jaganash is like an English person. Wamitigoja is a Frenchman there. French. Wamitigoja.
So the ING is just country or location?
But yeah, it makes it. We'll be getting into that right next there. I don't know if they actually use that or not, but I probably could refer to Quebec or France there. I'm at the Gojiwa King there. Again, this it's not standard or uniform. Some, especially in
strange language.
Amitagoja. I'm not too sure what it. Some say it has to do with like the cross and the wood kind of thing and that, but others say they don't. They're not entirely sure. Like I haven't seen any agreement as to what either of these words mean. Like there's different theories I've heard from different speakers, but hasn't been very consistent from what I've heard there. But Wamitigoje, some, especially in the Fort Francis region and north of that, Wamitigoje could have the same meaning as Jaganash. Like it's kind of referring to anyone that's non-native or Canadian there. Wamitigoje. Some places have the distinction between the two, like this being English, this being French. Again, just showing how you could use that okay and at the land of the French. Jump into those markers. Alright, so will be the linguistic term that they use for these things is locative, or pretty much means like a location indicator. And it's a suffix you add at the end of the verb or the noun, I should say there. The way that the connector vowel depends usually on the way that the word you're adding it to is written there. So, yeah. So we look here, since these words are all based on a if. Is land, earth.
Excuse me.
Since it has that short vowel, it connects it like turns into a long I, ing. So, we'll go with some other examples here for. I'm not sure if we'll be having any that have ung here, not tonight. But, so you could add this to most of the nouns we've already been working with there. So I'll add it. Right, so Wabanong, right.
What is
So-
it?
So right, the directions there. So like Waban is east, and then like Wabanong is like in the east. Or,
Oh, okay.
Jawanong towards the south. Then Gabianong towards the west there, and in the west. Uwadanong to the north. So. Remember Ishquandam? Ishquandam. Ishquandam. No, it's this one's a noun, so Ishquandam. Remember Ishquandam is again. Ishquandam, Donganan. Ishquandam.
Well, I don't know. Touch.
There's point.
Point.
Yeah, but so you recognize in the verbs, you remember what Ishquandam is when I say it? Ishquandam is again. Ishquandam, Donganan.
It's not touch.
Well, yeah, you got the verbs right. Donganan
Oh.
is to touch it.
Oh.
Ajano
sure.
again is point at it. Ishquandam is what I'm telling you to
The floor.
touch or point at.
Floor.
Machisak. Machisak.
Floor.
Right? So getting closer. So
The table.
Machisak. Adopoin.
Ishquandam is the
The
door.
door,
You
right?
got me that on the other day, that's right.
Right. Yeah, so Ishquandam's the door.
I knew it was gonna be one of them.
So
Just going down. Because the
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good way to remember it.
we could have the. Oh, which one do you think that you'd add? Try adding one of these on there.
Ishquandam on.
Dash click on
Ishquandam on.
Oh, it'll
the door on.
it'll become
That
a
doesn't make sense.
Ishquandam.
the door. The door
Swinging door?
location.
Ishquandam, so the ing kind of becomes like a. So when you add like the ing on it, it's kind of like it becomes a location suddenly there. So Ishquandam itself is just a door. If I say again, Ishquandam ing, like it point towards the door or by the door.
To by L.
Right, so it could be on like I was starting to use the let's see if you recognize some of it. Okay, so a Dopawin. Oh, that's a probably
Table.
a Dopawin table.
Yes, I know. Together, but I always get mixed up.
They confused me too there.
By the table.
So by the table, it could be on the table. So I was saying like,
Okay.
I tell you like, udapan on iyo mazinayagan, udapan on, pagdanan a dopo winning, put it down on the table. Dopo winning. That's what I was saying on the Wednesdays. Yeah. And then I was saying aname a pub winning. Remember that one? Aname a pub winning. So a puppy win. This is the puppy win. Remember aname a puppy winning? Under. Yeah. Put it under the chair there. Aname a dope winning. Under. And if I just say Pagdanan iyo mazinayagan a dope winning. Put it. Aname a dope winning would be under, and a dope winning would just be on or by, or a dope winning. So a dope win is just the table. A dope winning, and I'm telling you to put it on the table there.
So adding an aim to it's specific instead of just general tables.
Right. Like
Or
I
general
could still say like a dope win, and still like it's still a table specifically, but when I'm saying a dope winning, it becomes like a location. Like the table is the location of where I'm telling you to put the book there. But I could still just say book it in on a dope win. It might sound like I'm telling you to put down the table there, so if I'm saying a bug it in on a dope winning, you know that I'm saying to put it down on the table instead of putting the table down. And then Bimo saying Ishkwan Deming, walk to the door, walk by the door, kind of. Namada bin a pub winning. Been a pub winning. Pub win.
Namada bin?
Namada bin a pub winning. A pub win. A pub win. Remember a pub win. A dope win. A pub win. Right. Pub win. Pub winning. Namada bin a pub winning.
Put it on the chair.
Yes, sit on the chair there in the mother bin. Bagidinen, heyo mazinegan, and ame dopo winning.
Going too fast, going too fast.
Put the book underneath the chair.
Right. Yeah. Bagidinen, heyo o mazinegan, and ame a pub winning. Under. When we were doing that on Wednesday. Well, yeah, whenever you figure out right, so I mentioned.
So you could say, Gashkonin Open winning.
Right, yeah.
Jumping on the table.
And Guashquan, like Guashquanan is like the command, and then Guashquan, the dopo, and then yeah, jump on. I'm jumping on the table. So Ojabiganak, right? The pen, pencil. Remember how to pluralize it for multiple?
N.
Oh, yeah, there's an N that's in it.
N. A-N.
That's for Maziniganan. Ojabigana.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. So. Okay, so you see the O's there. So how would you, if you were to make a location with the pen there, locative on the pen, how would you add the locative to that there? Ojabiganak.
The two eyes are gonna
Oh,
can't be.
it was a connector because the other one had an I. So this one gives you a clue as to how you'd add the locative. So would it be Ojabigana King, Kong, or Kung? Ojabigana. Right. Ojabigana Kung, like on the by the pencil, on the pencil. At the pencil. Oh, keep working with that on the next page. So this is somewhat clear for now there. Like, any questions, or is it just practice kind of thing?
What did the own mean?
What the own?
Yeah. O-N.
Oh, and that's the pluralization there. Like in English, we use an S, and Ojibwe they use like an un or an own sound depending on how the word.
So there's multiple tenses.
Yeah. We had Ojabiganakun, Ojabiganakun, Kon, Mazinigan. Paper is also Mazinigan. Book, paper are the same word, and Maziniganan is plural for it. So Maziniganan. And this verb, this noun. Yeah, it gets, instead of the A-N, it gets the O-N kind of sound. It all depends on some of them. Majority of them are A-N, but some of them have that double O-N. Oh, we'll start with this one. So you should recognize the verb. Remember Wisene, Wisenen, Noisen, Goisen. Giwisen, before coming here, maybe 5 o'clock's around supper time there. Giwisen,
Eat.
no, Wisene. So Wisene, who's eating? He or she's eating. Wisene. So Wisene.
Eating, it says restaurant.
Right. So Wisene. And this is just another connector. Main things we're going to be looking at here. So there's the verb, and then the big. So gimmick is what do you call that? The root. Root word that connects on to other words there, and it means like a building or a structure. So we Sinewa gimmick. He says it's a restaurant, but how would you, I guess, try to literally translate that? We Sinewa gimmick. Well, no, not quite here. I guess you could, but I guess not really who specifically at this point there. It's just kind of like, we Sinewa gimmick is, right, like the building that you eat or the place that you eat at kind of thing. We Sinewa gimmick. So translated restaurant.
That's all.
Right. We Sinewa gimmick. Well, that one's a verb, right? We snap. I didn't show you guys this word yet, but some might recognize it. Yeah.
Look at me. Okay.
So anyone recognize Jonia? Money, right? So money is so
I remember though.
yeah.
You owe me money.
Yeah. So Jonia, we can make.
Jonia now?
What would you guess this place was there? Jonia, we can make.
It's bank.
Right, so like a bank.
Money,
So,
please.
so Zonia, good word to take note of there. You'll come into contact with every day, or on the days you don't have it, you wish you had it. Zonia, we can make. Restaurant. Oh yeah.
I don't have bingo hall on here.
Oh, we'll explain how they break it down there, and
Okay.
then you'll see how it is.
What's the word for at?
It's kind of like adding these things on it there, the locatives.
Okay.
So when you add that, it kind of gives that. You wouldn't have really a specific word add. You'd have to work with the locative marker and add the locative onto the word there to make it add. So let's do this one quick and then I'll show you how to do it.
Stomach?
Okay.
Okay.
Again, in the east, you won't see the wind in between as much. Like, so it'd be Zhonyagamik or Wisnigamik. In the west, they'll add that little connector. Wisniwagamik and Zhonyawagamik. Zhonyatagiwagamik. I just put it on separate lines because some places just have a tagigamik and then Zhonyatagigamik. So you mentioned casino already. So if you're looking at Jonia Tagigamik, how would you guess that they're trying to translate it? A casino.
Money, please.
What do you do at the casino? Yeah, it was kind of like betting, or
Oh,
yeah, like your right with your. So someone's just like a gambling place. Jonia Tagi is where gambling money place there. So I don't know if there's a specific word for bingo, but I guess you could use the same word for bingo too there.
Atagi. It's pronounced that Atagi.
Atage. Atage.
So if you didn't use the Zunia version,
Mhm.
then you would use Atagi with gimmick.
It's optional there. It depends on what region you're in or who you're speaking with there. Some just might not add the way. Like in the west, they'll most likely Atage with gimmick, and then in the east, they'll probably just be Atage gimmick, or might not even have the A, just Tage gimmick maybe some places. Tage gimmick, Atage gimmick. Tage with gimmick. Right, so money do K-Win, they have Gamic on it. But that's what it's saying.
That's Bamak?
It's the same thing that they're saying here, like it's spelled a little different there, like Gamic, but it's referring to gimmick. So money do,
It's so different.
yeah, since it's not
So
standard.
confused.
That's why I try saying things differently so that you could hear it multiple ways there, and if you hear something somewhat like that, then hopefully.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it, because I thought of many field connection, I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
written up here.
Right. So like, since it's up there, we could work with it there because there's a few cool things on there.
Duke.
So many do. Actually, got like spirit.
Right. So that's the first word you got. There's money do. Be spirits one way. Basil Johnston translates it as a mystery. He doesn't think there's an English word that captures the nuance, right? So he just calls it like a mystery. Not quite a ghost because they have the word G-by for like a ghost or spirit as well there. So G-by would be like a human spirit ghost kind of thing, whereas a money do would be like it could be one of the animal spirit or I like those mysterious creature kind of spirits. That, like Basil says, like a mystery kind of thing. Money do.
Like a ghost?
G-by would be
Okay.
more of a ghost. So money do. You probably have heard like Gitchy Manitou there. People pronounce it in English like a Manitou. Manitoulin Island, Manitou Park in the Sioux. It's all from Manitou or Manitou. Manitou. So that's what it's referring to, like that kind of idea. The next part is K. When you add a K, it's like it becomes like it makes it into. So this is a noun, right? Manitou, referring to a spirit, and then K turns it into like a verb kind of. Other words, so like I haven't taught you gigon yet, but recognize gigon.
This, that.
Oh, that's gego. Gego.
Is it a fish?
Gigon, yeah. So gego is right. It's good that you picked up on the different sounds there. That's similar. So gego is something. Gigon is like that's right. It's a fish. If I were to say gigon k, someone understand that as going fishing there. Gigon k. So manido spirit, manido k. It becomes like ceremony. Almost like yeah. It could. I guess you could translate it as worship, but it's like doing like ceremony for the spirits kind of thing. So
Oh.
it'd be similar. So, and then the wind is kind of it makes it like it kind of like makes it like do it like the some translate it as like the art of or doing like even Anishinaabemowin. Anishinaabem is like to speak the Anishinaabe language. Anishinaabemo, he or she speaking it, and Anishinaabemowin kind of makes it like the language of the Anishinaabe. The Manitokeowin's like the room where they do ceremony. And the gimmick makes it like it's like there's an actual building of it kind of thing. Like you could do Manitokeowin outside kind of thing, but when you had the gimmick, it'd make it like there's a building right there, Manitokeowin gimmick. So the building or the place where they have ceremonies kind of thing. Okay. And then you were asking about how would we make it act. So we've seen governing. So with Gamig, it has based on those sounds, how would you try off the top of your head to try adding a locative onto these locations there? You got the concept, so instead of ing though, the gimmick will have a gamagong. So we with gamagong. Yeah, at the restaurant, to the restaurant, by the restaurant kind of idea. Going the yawa gamagong. So without the yongs at the end, it's just the place. We would make the place where they eat, and we would gamagong is at the place where they eat. So the would gimmick. Even the old name for Michipicoten, or doesn't have it on the English pronunciation, but the two ways I heard it, Michipigodong and Michipiquadanong, you could hear at the end those locatives there. Michipigodong at the place. Someone, the one couldn't remember how to translate Michipigodong. The pictures that came to her head when she said it was like a hidden valley almost, and some say like these big bluffs or kind of things. So Michipiquadanong, the place of the big bluffs there. So Bachuana and the Sioux, the Ojibwe names of Bajuanong. Bajuanong as the locative at the same thing with Garden River around the Sioux. Kitaganzi Bing at the Garden River there, or at the Desert River. It has like a garden or a desert or sandy place. Okay. At high school in the Sioux is Bawading, right? So Bawading, the ing at the end. They changed the stress on the anglicization of it, like Bawating at the place of the rapids there. So Bawading, be pronounced Bawating. Others will add a little bit more, Bawatagong. Same thing with rapids there, just shortened to Bawating, Bawatagong. But whenever you see those kind of things on an Ojibwe word, it means like at that place kind of thing. Another one that's good on here. Anishinaabemowin along the highway, right?
Oh,
I wish I knew what the word. I wish I knew what the word meant, but that ing at the end makes it the place of something there. Yeah. I've tried finding it, but no luck yet there. Trying to think if there's any other ones.
What's swamp?
Muskeg, Muskegong. Because they call the Cree the swampy people, Muskego. Trying to think how you. It might be like Muskegong there at the swamp there. Muskeg. Yeah. I'd have to double check how to make it a location there because of Muskeg.
Have you ever seen the movie Dancing with Wolves?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. Everyone should watch that movie. If you haven't watched it, it's like the best movie ever. About like.
That we call Buffalo the Musquade Bijike.
Holy, it's a big
Yeah, Musquade, kind of referring to like the plains or grass there, and Bijike is like a cow. Musquade Bijike. Well, I think they said Bijike was before they imported what we understand as cows now. They were just in Bijike for buffalo, and then once the cows came, I think some say they came up with the distinction between Bijike, like a cow, and Musquade Bijike, like the plains cow.
A wild cow.
It'd be a different word for wild there, but Musquade is referring to like the field or. Yeah.
Musquade
Bijike.
Bijike.
Yeah. Or some will say Bijiki. Yeah, well, again, just dialect pronunciation. And again, I'll show you how to. Just to show you a quick difference between some of the eastern and western again. So Gikino Ma Gewigimik. I also wrote Gikino Ma Diwigimik. I don't hear the D around here east as much there, but in the west I guess the Gikino Ma Diwigimik. Gikino Ma Gewigimik. So that'd be western pronunciation, and Kino Ma Gigimik would be the eastern Kino Ma Gigimik. With that, there's a verb in here. So, just looking at this, what kind of verb do you think that'd be?
Is the bird?
Not what it is yet, but if you were to look at it as it is, so but you can amage.
Like a form? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like so there's DNA form as it is. So what would the verb be there? So here it's teaching place, and here it'd be.
To teach?
Oh, who's teaching there?
He.
He or she's teaching, right? So once you're able to start figuring out some of those little things there, like that'd be one of they call the VAI type verbs there. And so you're able to pull that out. No, not quite when it's like that, but you could pull the verb out and then be like you kino amage, he or she's teaching there. It's not really you wouldn't really conjugate it like that once it's in there, but that you could. Then it's more showing that you could kind of pull the verb out and
Okay.
he or she is teaching and then. You know, right. That kind of idea. And again, just add the.
You almost gotta be in the town where everybody's speaking the same language.
Yeah.
It would help, yeah.
Immersion?
Right.
Yeah, I think that'd be neat.
Yeah. There's some that one of my teachers, she wants to build like a little village where it'd just be a language there, like where there'd be a number of language speakers, and then students would go there, and it'd just be a village of language speakers. And
Practice together. Too.
yeah,
It's like a little historical
Excellent.
building.
it's her dream. Hopefully someday something like that'll happen. Because there's not many. Mostly only probably flying communities in the north, and even then, a lot of them are having a hard time keeping the language because, say, once the satellite and the internet came in there, most of them use the language of the media there. So. Well, this is another good. How are we doing for time? Oh yeah, we're already almost. Now here's a good place. Good verb and a good location. Museum gimmick.
We can. Museum.
Has anyone heard museum before?
I have to go right now.
Place where you go easy.
Right. Most of them, most of the dictionary is the place where you defecate. Right. So a washroom or a bathroom.
Body house.
Yeah. So again, the verb, it's a verb there. Mizi, he or she is taking a
Taking a dump.
taking a dump. Easy we can make. They also had the same place. Are you familiar with wigwam? Wigwam. I don't know if I've gone through wigwam. Similar to the English word wigwam. Wigwam.
A little hut thingy.
Right. So wigwam is like some understand it as like a house or lodge, and then some understand it as like a big lodge kind of thing. But so.
It'd be a chiwigwam.
Oh no, that's the opposite actually. So what Ojibwe does when you want to say referring to something small, you add like a "ans" kind of sound to it there. So wigwam ans. It's like the small house there. Or probably referring to the old outhouses there. Wigwam ans.
So if chi is big at the beginning and
Right.
smalls always goes at the end.
You could have like a small. You could, like that's the thing. There's a pre-verb where you could add like a word small at the front, but you could also just kind of morph it into the word and it becomes like wigwam-s. Trying to think like a pubuin-s would be like a small chair. A dopuin-s, a small table, like that thing over there I was using last week. And the most chance would be like a small dog.
So like you would say chichiman and or manes.
Yeah, chijiamon. So get chijiamon, chijiamon. So you understand chair, get you now. And then Giamon is the Giamon itself would just be like a regular canoe boat.
regular, yeah,
And a Giamon S.
is a small canoe.
Right. So that's and then again you just add one thing at the small house at the shooter kind of thing.
Wigwam, that comes from wigwams, right?
Uh, I don't know if I don't know if wigwam comes from wigwas, but when you say wigwas, a Giamon, that you're referring to a birch bark canoe there. And, yeah, I don't think it's. Actually, maybe it is because there's all the birch on the side of the wigwam. I'd have to ask about that one. Wigwam, eh? So again, yeah, so you could. You could refer just to wigwam as a house kind of idea too, like where it's kind of been modernized to go from a little lodge to like it could be understood as a regular house kind of thing. Wigwam. Other one.
I can see the rig can make ing or big one.
Oh, say that again.
The big one. The big wig can make.
Nabewa is are you trying to?
Yes.
The Nabewa you're trying to say?
Yes. The big way. No. The bay.
Nabewa
The bay we can make it. Big one.
You wouldn't have to add the wigwam to it there because the gamig's already referring to it being like a structure.
The bay we can make on.
The Bewagumagong would be at like at the bedroom. Or are you trying to say in the bedroom at the house kind of thing, or?
Well, the bedroom inside of the house. Yeah.
Yeah. I never added. I never found a double location. I'll have to look into that one to
Okay.
double check. But yeah, so these are two words that are wigwam is understood as like a house like east of Sault Ste. Marie. They'll usually use wigwam. I've heard speakers around Batchewan and the Sioux use Wakayagan. And west of that, they'll use Wakayagan for a house instead there, or a certain type of lodge. So yeah, it's just something to be aware of kind of thing there. You might hear.
So a Waikayagan would be like a house. Chiwakayagan would be a big house
You could say like a Chiwakayagan.
or a lodge.
So the ones that use Wakayagan, when they say wigwam, they understand it as like those big like longhouse style lodges there.
Wakayagan is a longhouse.
No, the Wakayagan would be like probably more like like a smaller house, or like what we understand as the wigwam kind of thing, like a Wakayagan. And then the wigwam would be like
A lodge.
yeah, like a
Longhouse.
longhouse style.
How they've got the three
Yes.
longhouses built.
Yes.
Right.
For French. No,
As we're traveling.
Carter. Serpent.
There's three longhouses.
Yeah, and I think in the East wigwam could probably refer to both like the smaller one as well as like depending on the context of how they're using the word. And all you do again is like the name, your name. So easy but coming home. Next week we'll learn how to say that. Like if you want to go, do you need to go? Do you want to go? Do you have to go here? Did you go here? Yeah, those kind of things. It's 7:24, so if you guys have any questions or clarification on anything before we could, or if there's any questions online there, or up to you guys there if you go through some more of this, or if there's anything from earlier that you want or need clarification on there, or if you guys are good for now, I guess. Good till Wednesday.
It's the end of the day. A lot of times your brain says,
Yeah.
I had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But earlier in the day for sure
Mondays are rough.
beneficial.
right.
You just can't help but then turn on to the verb side.
What's that?
When you sound like all these places, right?
Right.
Those verb based on so it wants to bring it back to a verb all the time.
Usually, like even, I think I briefly went through it on, I think I briefly went through it on the first class, so we had that, so that's he or she is teaching there, and then one of the things they do in Ojibwe, if you want to make it like a noun there, then it kind of becomes. So that becomes like he or she who teaches there. It becomes like a noun almost, and you could recognize that D from when we were doing the initial. This is called initial change there, where the first vowel changes there, and it's a little more advanced stuff there, and then the conjunct form style thing, like it gets onto there, so like that's marking the he or she. Like I could put Gekinomage on, like I who teach there. Gekinomage on, you who teach. And it kind of makes it like a noun almost. But it's all based on a verb kind of thing.
And then just the opposite of what we're seeing tonight, like places with pronouns, and then making it verb to say that
Right,
it's a place where this happened. So
yeah,
now it becomes verb.
right. Like, but you could, but like these ones are kind of like nouns too, and they become like they're interactive, or the way that you could change them there. Like manido, again, is like that's a noun, and we make it a verb with the K.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually, yeah, it seems like it has like a verb connected, or it becomes a verb some one way or another somehow. Did I like answer the question, or is there, did I?
No,
I
it's
missed
just
it.
show-
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Okay,
that's happening a lot, right?
right, yeah.
So, Manido Kuwingamig is a place of worship, or
Yeah, I guess like you could put it like that, or where you do like the K kind of makes it like make it more an action, like of of doing ceremony or having ceremony or doing the worship, whichever word you choose to describe it. Yeah.
At the end of all these places, when you say Gamig, it almost sounds like you're the G turning it almost into a K. What you're saying, is that intentional?
That's one of the things. That's one of the other. That's good that you pointed that out. Actually,
Listen to wave Gamig. It almost sounds like the G is okay with it.
right. A lot of it is a dialect difference again on pronunciation. Sometimes in the heat of the moment of speaking, like a G will come out more like a K. Some will say that a G and K is an interchangeable sound in Ojibwe there. Like it might, like get K, B and P's are other ones, bit, P. Like if I were to follow the Eastern spelling, most of these would be spelled with the K, like Gamik. And then Northern Ojibwe probably just use all K's instead of G's there, like Gamik. Whereas the Eastern would use a G and a K, and then the Western one uses like a double G kind of sound. But again, a lot of it. Yeah, you could, if it comes out as a K sound, like, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's considered like an interchangeable letter, and it just kind of, it has like a bit of a G or K sound there.
Just how it rolls,
Yeah.
together, it makes it sound.
Yeah.
Like
And then you just pay close attention to the speed, like if you have the chance to listen to a speaker, and you just kind of try hearing if they use like if they use it like a G sound, like Gamik, or you listen if they kind of make it a Gamik, and sometimes they might even hear them switch between the both there, just depending on the rhythm of the speech kind of thing might make it come out a little different.
When I was first hearing, to me it sounded like a K at first. But as we get into it, you can fine tune your ear, and then you're starting to hear the G to more definite from a G sound to a K sound. I'm thinking it's more just practice and getting habitual, familiar with it.
And one of the other things too, like since I've been exposed to a lot of different teachers and dialects, like sometimes I might have different sounds coming out at different times just based on like the being different exposures there, and so that could be part of it, where the sound I am pronouncing it differently a little each time, or again part of it is to kind of expose your ears to different sounds that you will be hearing if you're in a setting where you hear the language in different places there. And other parts of it is me, I guess, having internalized different dialects too, and it might come out a little differently at times as well there. Or, yeah, a little complicated there. Yeah.
Practice.
Thanks for coming out, Mitch.
I swear it's
Alright.
exactly what
Now
you
you're
said.
Yep.
Are these yours? Because they were in the chair.
Oh, not mine,
Maybe that's mine.
They are
What's it called?
Carol's.
Girls.
Yes.
Okay.
Because she was running with her phone on when she came, and I remember her taking it off.